Welcome back to the Crown Palladium in Melbourne, where tonight another 6 men will join the ranks of the Australian Football Hall of Fame. But for now, let's talk the AFL teams for this weekend. Tom Rehn joins me from the Adelaide studio. Now, Tommy, we know some big-name Crows were available. Who's back in?
Well, Trevor's none bigger than Rory Sloane, who comes back into the side. He's been out for a few weeks with that fractured cheekbone. Also, Brodie Smith into the side, which is fantastic news, along with Kyle Hartigan. The outs, Martin and Lyons, who've been omitted, and Lever's got an ankle injury, which is unfortunate. Pretty tough on those guys who've been playing reasonable football that have been dropped, and Daniel Talia says that is a little bit difficult.
It's going to be tough on guys that get kicked out, but they'll go back to the sample and play their role and keep putting pressure on guys that are in the AFL side.
Now, Trevor's still no Ricky Henderson. He's been out for 3 weeks now. The club says it's just back stiffness. Could it be as simple as that, or do you think it might be something a bit more serious?
Well, the doubter in me always says there's more. You don't last 3 weeks with back stiffness. He's obviously got something more than stiffness, whether it's an inflamed joint or maybe even a disc problem. You know, this could be more serious, and I suspect it is, but Adelaide's just trying to keep everything under wraps.
Well, Treaders, the good news as well for the Crows is that Brad Crouch, who's been out for some 10 weeks, comes back through the twos this week, so that is great. But let's have a look at Carlton's side now. Speaking of big ins, look at those. Judd, Murphy, Cruiser. Thomas out with a toe, though, is a bit of a problem, and Chris Yarran has been dropped, which is a bit of an interesting one. Did they show some better signs last week, Treaders, under their new coach, John Barker, or have they still got a fair bit to improve on?
Oh, they've got a heap to improve on, Rennie. If you look at their effort was better, but still they're down on confidence. They're missing key players, and last week's team, no Judd, no Gibbs, no Murphy. It's going to make it hard. Throw in Jamison and also Cruiser, so it's going to be hard. But I think the big thing they can bring is effort against Adelaide, but you still think Adelaide should get that job done. All
right, Treaders, let's move on. We'll go to the Port game now, and Nathan Cracker comes out of the side because he goes back onto the rookie list and Aaron Young comes in. That's because Frampton is no longer on the long-term injury list for Cracker. Is he a touch unlucky? Does it surprise you?
Well, it's weird. It's the fact that he's been upgraded as a rookie. Sam Gray's gone up permanently, and we know you can do that early in the season. But, you know, one thing's for certain, it's a weird setup. And two, he'll be on Port Adelaide's list, their main list next year, because his form has been sensational. He's a find, even though he's played AFL football, especially where he's come from. Let's go to the Bulldogs side, Treaders. 3 changes for them. They've got some good inclusions there. Cramery comes in. Stringer's a really good player, and McLean. Bontempelli's a big out. So too Picken. Do you think this is a danger game this weekend? Well, Rennie, you have to look at their form, and you say at the start of the year, yeah, but their form has been amazing. They've gained a huge amount of respect from the competition. They're fast, they've got talent to burn. All their young players are playing, and they bring immense pressure. So, talk about danger game. I reckon this is a 50-50 game for Port, especially on their home deck. The Bulldogs have got some scalps so far this year. Oh, I can tell you're a former skipper, Treaders. That's exactly what the current skipper, Travis Boak, said to me a little bit earlier today.
The way they hunt the ball, the way they attack the ball, and I think they're, you know, number one for, you know, contested ball and tackles in the competition. So, you know, they really go after it, and that's what you want.
Well, Treaders, there's no doubt that could be one of just a few season-defining games this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely, Rennie. Appreciate your work, mate. We'll get into my tips very, very shortly, but thanks for your job. See you Monday for the review. And getting onto those tips, Adelaide by plenty. Port Adelaide, I reckon, in a close one. I'm picking under 5 points there. 4 points, 3 points. I reckon they just need to get the job done against the Bulldogs. And a funny one against the odds, North Melbourne. I'm going for North Melbourne over the Eagles down there in Tassie.